Hey all, clear this screen, looking a little fuzzy. Looking a little fuzzy, maybe it's Monday fuzzy. Maybe that's why I got these here walnuts to munch on. That'll make them really nice. Eliminate some brain buzz, which is always good, right? You have a great day. Okay. Hello. I'm just sitting here munching on snacks as we get started here. I am happy you're here. If you are here, say hello. Let me know who you are. Where are you? Do I know you're here because you're here all the time and I love seeing you every Monday, sometimes Tuesdays? Guess it depends on the week, but I was just saying how my screen looks a little bit fuzzy to me, which brings me all into the brain fuzz, which is really perfect that we're going to talk about how you can use plants and food as medicine and enhance your brain and your cognitive function and your memory, which is pretty cool. I just made this really delicious snack. I'm still kind of swallowing it down. So pardon me, I'm going to take a quick sip of tea before we get started. So I just created this little recipe and I'm going to call it nut brains because who wouldn't call it nut brains, right? I mean, it's totally what's going on. They are nuts, and this particular blend happens to be really amazing for cognitive function and bringing circulation up to the brain and enhancing your memory, and it's darn tasty. So that's the extra bonus in all the things, I think. I know I talk a lot about using different herbs and making different herbal medicines, but it's so important to remember that we can put all of this into our food, right? And it doesn't have to be like this big crazy herbal concoction. It can just be fantastically delicious food that you enjoy putting into your body that also happens to have some really excellent benefits like improving your memory and clarity and focus, like today's nut brains. So it's a super easy recipe. I just whipped this up like 30 minutes before the class and I'm eating them right now. They're really, really delicious. And I took walnuts as the main first ingredient. I did about 1.5 cups of walnuts because that's all I had. And they're really great because they're very high in DHA, which is an omega-3 fatty acid that has been shown to help protect brain health, particularly in newborns, and it's also known to improve cognitive function in we elder folk. Guess I'm not quite elder for some I am. Right in the middle there at 42, but definitely it helps keep you quite a bit sharper. And then it can also help to prevent cognitive decline. So as we get older, unfortunately, our cognition tends to dwindle. Hey, Kirsten, I am so happy you're here. I got your message and I have a really awesome link I'm going to send you, but I was busy getting my notes for this class today together. So, yeah. And did you know that it's been said that mothers whose kids get lots of DHA into their bodies have smarter kids? Wow. And it only takes about 1/4 cup of walnuts to get 100% of your daily recommended value of DHA. So that's pretty cool. If you don't like walnuts, you're going to like them with the recipe I just created. It's a bit sweet and a bit savory and a whole lot of yum in my opinion. The other ingredient I used in there that I really, really love that adds a lot of the yum other than the honey is rosemary. I use rosemary in my Where Is My Mind tea because it does such a great job of bringing circulation up to the brain and enhancing the memory and just keeping you nice and sharp. Plus, rosemary is delicious. I kind of wanted to do the honey and the rosemary dance and make it a little bit of sweet and a little bit of savory too. And it turned out really, really well in that way. So, yep, I did a little bit of rosemary. Somebody just sent me big loving arm hugs, but I can't see who you are because if you don't accept StreamYard up at the top, then I can't see who's who. So no biggie though. I'm glad you're here. What else? Oh yeah, when I was going through clinical herb school, I would put like a sprig of rosemary in my ear. We'd have these long, intensive weekends with like 8-hour days of studies and learning. And I was in Portland, Oregon, and fortunately, where I was, there was a lot of lovely herb gardens around and rosemary shrubbery. So I'd go for a nice brisk walk on our break, and I'd always be sure to grab a little bit of rosemary to keep that smell with me and to keep me sharp and a little bit more focused and alert for the next round of classes. Oh, yay, Sandy. I am so glad you're here. And I'm so sorry about that email goof. Whole nother ball game and story in that department. We'll chat about that another day. So the other ingredient I put into these nut brains is eleuthero. And I did just a little bit of that. I'm going to talk about the full recipe at the end. I just wanted to go over the herbs and talk to you and let you know why they're in there. Just quickly. Eleuthero is really cool because it's what's called an adaptogenic herb. So it helps your body adapt to various stressors in life, whether that be physical, emotional, spiritual, various mental stressors. It's really going to help a lot in that department. And there were some studies done back in the 60s and 70s where they took over 2,100 healthy people, and it showed that all of the people who took the eleuthero in the studies were able to better withstand the various stressors I was talking about, like heat and exercise stress, motion, noise, those kinds of things. They were also able to increase their workload and their stamina overall. They also felt much more alert and were able to put forth more work in their whole work efforts, which I think is freaking stellar. Eleuthero also does a great job of bringing circulation up to the brain and bringing up your blood to the brain, which is going to help nourish the brain. And it's also going to improve basic mental functions like memory and concentration as well. So far we've got walnuts, really rich in DHA, omega-3 fatty acids. We've got rosemary, which is super delicious. We've got honey in there because I like a little sweet and savory. Yay, honey love. I forget your first name. I know I see it on your orders, but I'm glad you're here. So for those in Facebook land, I'm a little bit of Facebook. I'm a little bit of Instagram right now too. Hey, how's it going?
I didn't mean to do this. Like, I was trying to say hi, and I tapped it. But I guess I'm here. I just wanted to tell you I love your teas so much.
Oh, thank you. And thank you so much for recommending my teas. I saw that you recommended them.
They saved my life.
Oh, that means the world to me.
Anytime I come in contact with anybody, I always rep your teas.
Oh, thank you so much.
I tell people about it. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That means the world to me. It's totally why I do everything that I do.
I know how it is. Word of mouth is so important.
Yes.
So I try to tell women all the time, we got to support each other out here.
Thank you.
I'm big on sisterhood, I don't care what you look like, what color you are my sister. And you're doing your thing, and I just got to support you.
Oh, girl, I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And hopefully you learn a lot about making some brain boosting snacks in this little session. Yeah, I saw you recommend it on Instagram. I was so honored. And one of those women got back to me like, I heard you have a hormonal tea. And oh boy, I do.
Absolutely. It helped. I've been suffering with fibroids since I was a teenager.
Oh, girl.
And this has brought me so much joy, so much relief.
Yay. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing that with me.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's why I do what I do. That is so beautiful to just hear somebody come on and say, hey, thank you so much. I changed her life with herbs. Isn't that cool? Like, to me, it's cool. I'm obviously quite the herb nerd, but what a fantastic honor. We've never met in real life. She ordered some of my wonderful woman's tea, and it has changed her life dramatically. And man, that feels good. Learning how to use plants as medicine safely and effectively is perhaps the best investment in my life I've ever made. I saved my dog. But anyways, we're talking about these really, really delicious snacks that can help improve cognitive function, right? So I'm just going to recap quickly what we've got so far. We've got the walnuts, which are really rich in omega-3 fatty acids and DHA particularly, which is going to improve some cognitive function. We've got honey, because honey is yummy. We've got rosemary, because rosemary is also yummy, but also brings circulation up to the brain and helps to improve memory and a little bit of clarity and focus. We've also got eleuthero, which is a fantastic adaptogenic herb, also bringing circulation up to the brain, helping the body to adapt to various stressors in life, as well as helping with stamina and increasing workflow and output and ability to like be present in work. So I also put in some salt because, you know, sweet, savory, salty, you got to have a little salt in there to jazz things up. And then I also put in some gotu kola, another herb I use in my Where Is My Mind blend, because it's really great for increasing blood flow to the brain, which is going to nourish the brain and give more oxygen and nutrients and take better care of the brain. We also have the gotu kola in there because it can help protect the brain from a bit of damage. It can stimulate the growth of new brain cells. What else does it do? It can help to calm and ease a little bit of depression and or anxiety. And what else? It improves memory and mood. It also helps with Alzheimer's patients. It helps with the prevention and maintenance of Alzheimer's, and it can help you sleep. So that's a whole lot of brain action going on with one cool little herb. And that's the cool thing about herbs is like they all do so many different things, and it's really complex. It's really, really beautiful. And it's part of what I love about them. So there's a quick overview of all the herbs I chose to put into these beautiful and delicious little candied walnuts, basically candied herbal walnuts. So here's the recipe. This is going to be a quick class today. It's 1.5 cups walnuts, 4 tablespoons of local raw honey, as local as you can get it to you. I did 2 tablespoons of rosemary, and good golly, I couldn't even, oh, I put cinnamon in too. I couldn't even find cinnamon powder in my apothecary. It's all at my house, so I had to use cinnamon chunks like I use in some of my teas. But I used that and the rosemary, I put them in my mortar and pestle, and I just ground them all up. And so they're critical ingredients for the flavor and functionality of these nuts. And then I did, so it was about 2 tablespoons of rosemary, couple large pinches of salt, 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon, and then I did 1/2 teaspoon of gotu kola and 1/2 teaspoon of eleuthero, because if it doesn't taste good, you're not gonna eat it. And I really wanted these to taste good because there's so many other great brain boosting properties in these healthy, delicious nuts. And that's it. So I stirred together the nuts and the honey first, right? The walnuts, 1.5 cups walnuts, 4 tablespoons of honey, stirred together. And then in a separate area, I stirred together the salt, the ground up rosemary and cinnamon, and the gotu kola and the eleuthero root, which I already had powdered. And I stirred those together. Once the walnuts and the honey were all mixed together, I then added the herbs and spices. And then I mixed those together, coated them all up. I had my oven heating at 350 degrees. I laid out some parchment paper on a nice cookie sheet, and I took the whole mixture and I laid it in a single layer, and I plopped it in the oven for about 18 minutes, anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes, should do just fine. And it looked like a giant brittle brain cookie when I brought it out because the honey had bubbled up so much and it just looked like this massive cookie. I took a picture. It was so funny. But they're all separate now and delicious now, and that's it. I think it's important to turn your food into medicine, whether you're adding herbs or not. The cool thing is so many of our culinary spices are amazing medicine, which, by the way, I just got a new book by Bevan Clare. She's the president of the American Herbalist Guild. It's called The Spice Apothecary, and it is such a good book. She really dives into the history and the medicinal value of all these. I think she does 19 different spices in the book, but so many of those spices are are such good medicine for you and for your gut. Also, before I let you guys go, on another note, tomorrow I'm hosting a free workshop all about using herbs to address your inflammation from the root cause. And then tomorrow or Wednesday, I'm opening enrollment for my course, Herbs for Optimal Gut Health. It's a 6-week course where first you're going to learn about the digestive system and how it works. Because if you don't know that, then it's no good trying to use herbs. And then we're going to go into 4 different categories of herbs, and you're going to learn about 5 herbs in each of those categories. You're going to learn how they work and what they're doing in your body and why they're really important. And then, so that's going to be really cool. And then there's an optional added on guided Repair Your Gut, Revive Your Life program that I'm doing, which is another 8 weeks on top of the 6 weeks. So that's all opening up tomorrow or Wednesday. I'm pretty excited about it. It's going to be a really, really stellar course. It starts mid-February, the Herbs for Optimal Gut Health, and then the Repair Your Gut, Revive Your Life, that begins March 9th, and we'll do a 2-week preparation time starting then and go on for 6 weeks after that. It's going to be awesome. Reach out to me if you want to know more about it. I'm sure you're going to hear more about it because I'm going to talk more about it. I am really excited because you can do so much for your own health and well-being when you use plants as medicine, and I know you're going to dig it. I think that's you, Sandy. Can I email you the recipe, or is it on my website? It is not on my website yet, but I can certainly email it to you. So it might be a minute. I'm a bit overloaded with work at the moment, but you could just send me little reminders and I'm happy to get it to you. So thank you guys so much for showing up, and I wish you all the most magnificent of Mondays. I'm going to go take my little 7-year-old to Taekwondo. I'm so excited. Take care.